after evening, day, noon, or whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to the only time this camera angle happens in this video. And also, welcome to the Bias Desktop by Positive Grid demo. Without further ado, to the computer. Okay, here we are in my project file for an old song of mine, Deadly Serious. And we're gonna check out Bias. So we open it on up. And we're focusing on amp matching in this one, so... Okay, so this just opened up one of my old amps. DasItMane. So for amp matching, you wanna use an amp and sort of get your settings as close as you can to sounding like your, you know, source. Or your target, sorry, your target amp. So I'm gonna set this essentially how I set it on the 6534, which is our target amp. This is like a Soldano model, which is like sort of like a sister of the Peavey 6505s and 5150s and etc. etc. All right, so I'm gonna bring my gain back here, and now we got this. Not bad. Gonna pull my input gain down. All right, so we're onto our preamp. And we got presets over here if you want to use presets, but that is not what we're going after today. So I'm going to pull this low shelf down just a little bit and push you that way just a little bit. And whoop. Cool. I like this. Pull this guy down and push you up and you up. And we'll A-B just a little bit. Not quite yet, but we're getting there. Our tone stack, this is all set. You got all kinds of tone stacks over here. You got bass amps, you got German Fireball, and etc. Fender amps. So that's all chill. And now we're moving to our power amp. So I used a Peavey 6534, as I said. And the 34 in the 6534 means EL34, so we're going to switch this over now. And then I'm going to push my bias up a little bit. And then push my resonance almost all the way up. And now what do we got? Not bad! Actually, this could probably use just a hair more gain. Just give it a little bit more. Cool. Alright, so since we're amp matching, I'm going to turn off the cab. And I used an avatar cab for recording the 6534 with an SM58 that I pulled the wind filter off of, because it essentially ends up like very close to a SM57, but a little more presency from what I've heard. So, alright, the first thing we're going to do is we dropped our amp match block into this little chain here, and we bypassed our cab. And so now we're going to hit sample. And sample our Metal Zone sounding cabless amp. Listen to all that fizzy goodness. Alright, sampling's done. And stop the sample, and now I'm going to jump over here and drag it out of there. And now I'm going to pull our 6534 up and throw it into the folder that has bias on it. Now I'm going to hit target. So I do have just a little bit of EQ on the target. I pulled out some 4/5K, like mostly 5K, and then boosted a little bit of the general mids, just because it ended up really presency. But you generally sort of have to do that in most cabs, because that's where like the spike is for the V30s and stuff. All right, so now we sample our target tone. Cool. All right, that's done. So I'm going to drag this guy back to where he was. All right, sweet. And go back and pull you back down. Hello. And we'll jump to our beginning. And now we go over to match. Cool. Turn on. Not bad. This is definitely louder, but it's all just a loudness there, so we can pull this guy up just a little bit, and that'll probably help a fair amount. Not bad. Not bad at all. And there you go, my friends. And then you think to yourself, well, I would like to save this. So I'm going to go like this. Oh, man. It's a 6534. Save. Awesome. There you go. There is your... Oh, here's one little note here. You can add your own background. You can change the color. So let's just go with a nice orange here, because, yeah. And then we'll just go ahead and throw this one on here, because beige is always the way to go. And then let's go ahead and throw red in there so we can contrast as much as possible. And then I'm going to put on some of, I'm going to put on some gold knobs. And this is just, there you go. We've created the 70s, my friends. And then I've done that, so I'm going to save it again. And awesome. Thank you very much. This is the Positive Grid Bias Desktop Amp Match demo. Drewsif signing off.